Okay, we're looking at your language arts activities, and this week your language arts and social studies are intertwined because you're reading about a culturally relevant text, which in this case happens to be the book entitled Ramadan, the Holy Month of Fasting. So you have a couple of assignments to work on, and they all deal with this book. And again, like I said, this will be both your language arts and your social studies. So the first thing that you have to do is after you read the book, when you're creating your slides, the first slide that you have has to have the title, the author, and the copyright information. And if you remember the last one that we had, the one Eamon did was a very good example of having all this information. Okay, so what you're going to be doing is on Monday you have the vocabulary words, and this book has a glossary at the end of the chapters. So if you look at the glossary, you can have your definitions there handy. So that's for Monday. For Tuesday and Wednesday, you're creating slides for the headings found in chapter 1. Okay? For Thursday and Friday, you're creating the slides that go for chapter 2, the headings for chapter 2. Okay, so what you're going to be doing, you're going to create a slide for each chapter's heading. So each slide will have the following. It's going to have the title of the heading, the summary of the heading. After you read it, it'll have a summary of what you read, and this has to be in your own words. I don't want you to copy the words word for word from the text. These are your own words. You read it, and then you summarize it in your own words, and then a picture representing the heading's main idea. So, again, Tuesday and Wednesdays, chapter 1, Thursday and Fridays, chapter 2. Submit those to me as you complete them. Okay, you can either download them to your computer and then upload them through RenWeb's homework drop, or share it with me through Google Shares, how some of you've been doing before. So let's look at an example of what your slide will look. This is chapter 1, and this is the first heading. What is Islam and who is a Muslim? That's the heading. Your summary would go right here, and then here's a picture representing that summary. Okay, so it's not that difficult. You're going to have quite a few slides, but that's okay. You also have a transactional writing paper to work on this Friday. And remember, your transactional writing, what's a transactional connection? Those are ideas you've seen in other books related to your own personal experiences, places similar to your own experiences, events you have seen in the real world. And what you're doing is you're connecting what you read to what you are familiar with. And that's the part which is part of the transaction readers use to comprehend the text. This transaction between you and the text, you bring what you have to the text, and then the text gives you back what it has. And this sharing of ideas is the transactional connection. So this is you bringing in all your culture, your experiences, the books you've read, and then the book that you read should also be giving you ideas that you've already had before. And the book that you're reading today or for this week is a culturally relevant book. Has a lot of connections for you. So when you write your transactional paper, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be comparing your experiences with the experiences outlined in the book. Okay, well, what you read. So you want to use words like in chapter 2, I did this, the book said this, or in another book, if you have an experience from this book that you've read with another book that you've read, make that connection. Just make sure you indicate what other book you're connecting it with. So again, we're looking at connections that deal with your personal experiences, what you've been experiencing in your lives, the culture that you bring to the text, and then making the connection with what you have with, along with the text that you're reading. When this happens cohesively, then comprehension of what you're reading comes naturally. It is a natural event, but the textbook that you're reading has to be a culturally relevant book. If the book that you're reading has no connection with you, then we're missing something here. You're going to be bringing what you have to the text, but you're not going to be receiving anything from the text. So the connection is broken there. So that's why it's crucial that what you read is connected to who you are. So that is your transactional paper. Please use Google Docs to create your document and then share it with me or upload it through RenWeb's homework drop. And again, your transactional connection is dealing with, in this case, it is what is Ramadan, and the book is describing the holy month experiences. It talks about foods, places, people. It's a full of information. So use it to the best of your abilities. And again, you want to make your transactional connection because you see you in what you're reading. And when this happens, reading becomes a more natural event and it's a more enjoyable event. So that is the review of your language arts and social studies assignments for this week. If you have any questions, please make sure you let me know during our virtual sessions that we're having on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.